How are you, James?
Yeah, bloody good.
No, buddy, thanks for that ink, mate. That was great. I'm my old mate Gadinsky.
No worries, bud. No, that was an absolute pleasure, Darcy. You know, like, I wanted to do this interview with you for a long, long time, brother.
Yeah.
A long, long time, as you know. And yeah, and one of the things that sort of prompted me to ask you to do it was just sort of, I'm sick of all the shit that's being said about Bond, mate.
Yeah,
and
a lot of shit, mate.
And it's just really, really sad to see, you know, people like Jesse Fink, for instance, with his book.
Arsehole leech.
Yeah, well, that's about it. But talking about smack and stuff, you know, the bloke's been gone a long time, and you know, my dad always taught me not to speak ill of the dead, and
that's right, mate.
And that's
exactly.
Give him the respect that's due, and you know, I just think it's really, really sad that someone like that would write such a thing just on hearsay bullshit.
Exactly.
And so,
the guy, you know, he brought so many people so much pleasure and died in a tragic way, and for this arsehole to start digging for dirt, trying to make it real sus, you know, sus event, you go, no, forget it, mate. Leave it alone. You don't bring shit up like that.
Nah. You know, and if he did have a dabble and he did have a bit of a smoke or whatever he did in his lifetime, he did.
That's his business.
That's right. It's exactly right. You know, why should that be sort of put out there to everyone as if it's, you know, bring up ghosts of the past?
All of a sudden, like dudes like Fink, they know nothing. They just interview smackheads, hearsay people, and what's his whole goal? To try and make some dollars out of it, mate.
That's it.
That's where his head's at.
Yeah, well, look,
trying to sensationalise the thing and make money out of it.
Yeah, well, what I'll do is I'll just.
He should go back to writing cookbooks or some fucking thing. That's where he's at.
No, that's it. Well, yeah, look, I'm just getting into my cupboard here, and I've got your book, Livewire, which is that's the book you want to read, guys. You know, this is a book that comes from a man who knew Bond personally, knew him for many, many years before AC/DC. You know, there's a lot of other books that have been written. I think there's one chap in there, or the Jeff Apter, I think his name is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jeff Apter, and wrote some great stuff. You know, really concise, beautifully well written, and just a lovely read. And you get someone like Jesse Fink who puts all that, and the basis of his book is just this smack thing. That's the big ticket to sell more books.
Trying to twig
it. Yeah, that's just bullshit. And it's a bloke who didn't know him at all. Yeah, who's just literally writing about hearsay evidence. But
well, they've just had this show on the Australian Story, and then here's Fink, this Fink dude. He's put on the email thing there that he wasn't asked to do it. Well, I'm thinking, well, who the fuck do you think you are, mate? I mean, you know fuck all.
No personal
you were never
at all.
there.
No.
And you're coming out this dramatised and putting shit on the show, complaining that they should have rang you.
Yeah.
You're a fucking bozo, mate.
Yeah,
Go back to writing fucking.
It's a bit narcissistic, isn't it? There's no doubt.
Put shit on some strawberries.
Yeah.
Fuck it off.
But anyway, mate. But look, guys, this is the book you got to read. If you want to read a great book about Bond, you know, this is the book.
Well, we couldn't tell everything in there, mate. There was a lot that we had to leave out.
Yeah.
Maybe that'd be for an after hours wrap or something, mate.
Well, mate, something.
But the main thing was he was a lovely guy, a down to earth dude who struggled, wasn't into money. He just wanted to get his rock and roll out to the world.
Yeah.
And he taught those kids a lot. They needed Bond as much as Bond needed them.
Yeah.
As I saw him in Sydney after a show, I said to him, fuck man, after all you've been through, you know, when he was with Fraternity, I thought they were all good musos and that, but the band wasn't happening.
Yeah.
And to me it was a bit of wasted time, but it was all part of his journey to lead into Akadaka.
Yeah.
And then when Vince, the other dude from the old Valentines, had lined up the jam, well, the rest is history. But as I've always said, those young dudes needed Bond as much as Bond needed them.
Yeah.
Bond had all the songs and the lyrics, and they had the energy, the kick-ass fucking rock and roll.
Yeah, well, I remember you said to me once that he was just really, really loving the punch that these boys are putting up behind him.
That's right, mate. That's what he said to me this night in Sydney after the show. I saw him. I said, fuck, that's the best I've ever seen you, mate. And he said, well, I've got these young dudes behind me, kicking me in the arse, and I feel great.
Yeah.
It just gave him a whole new energy.
That's just awesome.
And that's where his head was sort of at, back in the Valentines, when they got into Led Zeppelin stuff and the heavier songs.
Yeah.
we used to cover both clubs. We'd do all the teeny bopper shit, and then we'd hit the clubs at night and play with Parko and Thorpe and all the rest of them.
Yeah.
Because Bond musically progressed all the way through. He was the only one that was heading somewhere. He had a direction and he wanted to get there to the
He
end.
knew where he was going.
And he did, mate.
Yeah. Well, look, some of the bands that Darcy's worked with, I had to jot them down because they're just crazy. He had Compulsion, The Valentines with Bond, Bulldog, Healing Force had that great song, Golden Miles, Sanctuary, which with Renee Gayer, Highway, a New Zealand band, Eclipse, The Platters with Zola Platter, Black Sabbath with Ozzy, Uriah Heep, Bad Company, Joe Cocker, Leo Sayer, Brian Ferry, Focus, Chuck Berry, mate, Bo Diddley, and then finally AC/DC with Bond. Man, that's a hell of a lineup, brother.
Yeah, I was very lucky, mate.
What an experience, man.
Well, in the early days, up until when Skyhooks and Cold Chisel started doing their big shows, the earlier roadies, it was, I call it Beaver.
Yeah.
One band, one van, one roadie.
Yeah.
And that's how it was. You had to do all this shit, and even with the Valentines, you'd do 4 gigs on a Saturday, afternoon gig, or the first one I used to start out with was Ringwood Town Hall. From there I'd drive down to Dandenong Town Hall. This is on a Saturday night. 6 dudes in a van with gear, no seat belts, running red lights and everything, from one gig to another.
Yeah.
So from Dandenong Town Hall down to Frankston Mechanics fucking hall.
Yeah.
And they were all the bopper dancers and that, so we're eating cookies and stuff like that. And then on the way back from that last gig out of Frankston, we had a 1 o'clock start in the city at 1 a.m. start in the club in there. So all the joints would come out and the cookies were on that drive from Frankston to the city.
I remember you telling me years ago about the priest who was running the show.
Right, it was a funny one.
And he said, well, they're lovely boys, but geez, they eat a lot of cookies, they eat a lot of biscuits.
That's right,
That's like biscuits,
And the boys were doing a Led Zeppelin song then, Communication Breakdown. And the priest, he was doing the curtains and that, and he said to the band, oh, what are you doing? They said, oh, Communication Breakdown. So he's opened up the curtains and he's gone, here's the Valentines from Melbourne doing a Roy Orbison song, Communication Breakdown. Because they go in and he's like, oh, Jesus, Roy pumped up a bit, mate.
What's your favourite memory with Bond? I remember you've spoken to me about so many over the years, it'd be pretty hard to pinpoint one. But I remember you chatting to me once about your 21st. And I remember you showing me the key that you got for your 21st, all signed by Bond, and I thought, man, that's just so cool.
It was a lovely night. There was just half a dozen of us. I'd come back from doing a gig and he was there with my other mate Scrooge and a couple of dudes in the band, and had an old milk bottle bong there loaded up for me. I walked in about 3 a.m. in the morning and he goes, we've been waiting for you. Passed me the bong
and that was that.
And then spent the Sunday in Centennial Park up there in Sydney, tripping through the park. That was a funny day, thawing out. And I had to drive back to Melbourne that Sunday night. And I still had all the gear in this club in Sydney.
Yeah.
And the dude got the key to get me in there to get my gear out and drive to Melbourne. I'm still tripping. I've had about 3 LSD trips and smoking like that.
Oh, the 60s and 70s.
Oh, they were crazy, mate.
Yeah.
And so
how did he survive?
I had to get my gear downstairs from this joint, and somehow we've ended up out in the kitchen opening up these big fridges, and there were tray loads of crumb chickens and shit in there, and we're ripping into those. I've fallen up and down the stairs that many times getting the gear out. I was covered in bruises, and had to get in the van about 10 o'clock on the Sunday night and drive back to fucking Melbourne by myself.
Oh, dude, look, some of the stories that Darcy's told me over the years, guys, obviously some that we can't share with you.
Oh, mate.
But on the Australian story, on the Australian story, they said that AC/DC's a pretty rib-old band. Oh man, that's an understatement. Trust me, some of the shit.
It didn't honour him enough. We could have gone on. It could have gone. The show was too short. Trying to cram a lot in half an hour, you can't do it.
No.
So there was a lot of stuff that should have been in there that was left out.
It's a story that could take 3 hours to tell.
Oh, you could talk
and
on
some,
his
and
whole
some,
life, mate. You could go. But what summed it up for it, he had a genuine heart for everyone, the fans, everything.
Yeah.
Like, he'd walk to the gigs. He didn't go in the limo or the vehicle around the back and shit. He'd walk out the front and talk to them out the front, the punters and that, the fans. Always had time for them. No monetary gain was in his trip. All it was getting his songs to the world. That's what he did, mate. He conquered it. He nailed it.
That's it. I mean, he was voted one of the best frontman in all time.
That's
Rock and
right,
Roll Hall of
mate.
Fame. That says it all. And look, Bon will live on forever.
Well,
his
when you
memory
get
will just
dudes like
soar,
Henry Rollins and the dudes from Motorhead and everyone saying, mate, well, they realised he was the man.
He's
mate.
the man. That's
And after that motorbike accident with Fraternity that nearly killed him, to come back after that shit, I know how his body would have been aching on that, mate.
Yeah, I've been there, done that.
But he gave a show, mate. Any time he stepped on that stage, it was 120%.
Yeah. No, he was all for his fans and loved his music.
A legend, mate.
Well, the legend lives on. We've got Bonfest now, and we've got gigs
That's
to
magic
get on all the
what
time.
they're doing over there in Scotland. I'm hanging to get over there, and even Bond's nephews.
We were going to all the people that are seeing this in Bonfest in Scotland. We were that close to going just prior to COVID. We had everything set up. We're going over to Thailand to visit Graham, Bond's brother, and then we're heading to Amsterdam, and hopefully we survived Amsterdam and heading out to Bonfest. But we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Hopefully once things calm down.
Catch up with John Crawford and everyone.
He's 73 going on 18, and hopefully we can get out there and get to Bonfest in the coming years. But in finishing, Darcy, I did a tattoo for you yesterday for your mate Gadinsky, it was an absolute honour for me to do. And I really appreciate it. And what we come up with was, I actually blew up a photograph of Michael's hand, and then we go and doing the number one thing, and there it is there, all nicely bruised up, but that's the tattoo, and
it'll come up great.
Yeah, it'll once it all heals.
And Michael was back with us with Bon and everything. He started out his whole trip at 16 there with going on the road with us, and so we all tie in together. There was a great unity there.
Yeah.
We never forgot each other, and that's what I'd say. Keep the legend alive.
That's it, and there's the purity in John, in Darcy's book and Gabby's book and Mary and what they wrote in this book. Not only comes from the heart, but it's lived experience. It's not hearsay bullshit. A lot of the stuff that's out there is just crap, and it's stuff that's been rewritten time and time again. And anyone can study. Anyone can put a couple of years into studying the band and studying the nuances of what they've done in the past, etc. But they don't really know the men behind those instruments and
what goes into it.
That's right, man. That's right. And your personal connection to Bon and the band and everything you've done in your lifetime, Darcy, just blows me away every time I get to chat to you, mate. And I thank you.
Oh, that's a champion, mate.
Cheers, brother.
Love you, bud.
Keep the legend alive.
That's right. Unreal, mate. I hope that turns out good for you.
Oh, mate, it'll be brilliant, bro. Here we are. He's in good company. We've only got a little bit of academic stuff in our academic room.
That's what I need, like a dude like you to ask the good questions. We'll do another good one, mate.
Yeah, we will,
get it together and
we will, most definitely.
Get into some stuff.
Yeah, shit, yeah. All right, mate. Cheers, brother. We'll speak to you again soon.
Magic, mate.
See you, mate.